How to play Dicey Dynamics from Sigillumi. To start a round, all players will need their own dry erase marker and the same version of scorecard. Each scorecard has 4 colored columns of play, usually blue, green, yellow, and purple. Each column has boxes with numbers between 2 and 12, ending in red stop zones. There are also 3 no dice penalty stars and a scoring guide. The objective of the game is to earn the most points by checking off as many numbers in the 4 colored columns as possible while avoiding the no dice stars, which can end the game. For the first round, start with the player who most recently said "I love you" to someone of significance in their life. They become the first active player. On each turn, the active player will roll all 7 dice in front of them, 4 colored dice that correspond to the colored numbers on the score sheet, 2 black wild dice, and 1 white wild die. The active player then adds up the sum of the 2 black wild dice and announces the total as the table wild with the specific number to all players. In this example, table 11 would be announced. The other players may then check off the corresponding number on their own scorecard if desired. The active player, but not others, then decides which sum of dice pairs to use to check off up to 2 numbers on their own scorecard from the following options. If using the sum of the white die plus any other die, you may only check off 1 spot. If the white die is used with a black wild, it can go in any column. If the white die is used with a color, it must go in the appropriate colored column. So here we have a white 1 with a green 1 that could go great in the green column. If using the black wild dice, then 2 spots may be checked off. 1 with the sum of the 2 black wild dice in any column, and 1 with the sum of a single black die and 1 of the colored dice in its appropriate colored column. So here we could use the 12 from the black and blue dice and the 11 from the black wild dice. Remember, numbers in each column must be checked off from top to bottom. You do not have to begin with the number closest to the top and can skip any numbers you wish, but you cannot go back up the column. If the active player does not check off at least 1 number during their turn, they must check off 1 of the no dice stars for a penalty of -7 points. If any player marks all 3 no dice stars, the game ends immediately. Otherwise, gameplay continues clockwise and the player on the left becomes the new active player. In order to enter the red stop zone and check off the last number in a column, you must have previously checked off at least as many in the column as the card indicates is required. Any player who checks off the bottom number will also check off the stop as a bonus for stopping the column. When a column has been stopped, numbers in that column can no longer be checked off by any player on future turns. So have all players who did not stop the column mark a line through all remaining boxes in the column. Once 2 columns have been stopped, the game ends. To score, rotate the scorecard to the side, count the number of checks per column, and use the scoring guide to identify how many points were earned from each column. Add the column totals, subtract any no dice penalties, and the player with the highest total score wins. If playing more than once, the player to the left of the winner will start the next round.